right there. If you are thinking about moving to Las Vegas with your kids, you're gonna need to watch this video. When people hear the word Las Vegas, they don't necessarily think of a place where you would want to raise your family. They think of partying, but that is not the case.
A lot of people, when they come to Vegas, they always think about gambling, casinos, like, oh, a strip. No, it's not always just about the strip, you know.
Today we're going to show you why Las Vegas is such a hidden gem for actually raising a family. We're going to go over some top rated schools, affordable housing, and some of the best parks in town that your kids will be begging you to stay. They'll be crying not to leave.
If you guys are thinking about buying, selling, or investing, definitely give us a call or email. Our contact information is here below, and we would absolutely be honored to help you.
Now let's jump into it. The most important thing everyone came here to see is the cost of living. Like, how much is it going to cost to raise my family here?
So we're just going to discuss that really quickly just to get that out of the way.
The median sales price of a home right now is $489,000, but that doesn't mean that you have to buy at $489,000. You can get homes as low as $300,000, and you can get even cheaper properties if you're buying condos, townhomes, or manufactured homes. Now, as far as rent goes, we don't really facilitate rentals, but we do have clients that come and rent for a couple months before they buy with us. So the median rental price right now in town is around $2,400 a month, and that's for about a 2 or 3 bed, 2 bath, single family detached. Now, let's talk about HOAs real quick. If you're gonna be in a community with an HOA, and by the way, we say this in every video, 75% of the homes in Clark County are in an HOA, you're gonna spend around $85 a month. Some go down as low as $15, and of course they go up into the hundreds depending on what kind of amenities they have. But just prepare for having an HOA if you want your family to live in a community that has a common interest of keeping the community nice. Maybe they have a little park, maybe they have gates, maybe they have a dog park, things like that.
And if you're looking to get a really good deep dive information, in-depth video, we have that. And so definitely check out the cost of living video below. Now that we got that out of the way, the next topic is, as a mom, I think safety is probably the top priority for me.
And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking Las Vegas isn't the safest, especially if you watch Cops in the 90s. Half of that show was shot in North Las Vegas. And so I'm gonna show you on the map right now where you can we're gonna help you navigate that so you can feel more comfortable and confident when you live here. So if you're simply just not staying in the Boulder Highway area, that's a very busy part of town where just a lot of commerce is happening. Another thing is just staying out of downtown Las Vegas and of course the Strip, because there's gonna be a lot of tourists and cars there. And then more importantly, let's look on the other side of things. Some of the safest places in town are gonna be Sky Canyon, it's gonna be Summerlin, Mountain's Edge, Henderson, Boulder City, which is its own city just outside of the valley. And tell them a little bit about Henderson.
Henderson was actually rated the #2 safest city in all of the United States many years in a row. And that is comparative to the population. So I do want to say, while we can't steer you in any specific direction or area when it comes to purchasing a property, we want to tell you that, and it's something that we tell all our clients, is that if safety is a really big concern to you, definitely check the crime map information for any location that you are serious about purchasing. And then another thing that we recommend too is that if you are in town and there's a home that we're touring, definitely check the neighborhood, drive around that home.
Drive around at nighttime, drive around in the morning.
All hours of the day, that's right.
Yeah.
And then,
as real estate professionals, we can't tell you what's good or bad because that's a subjective term, and we can't, like she said, be responsible for steering or placing people in neighborhoods that we think they should go. So we're just gonna double down and explain that you really gotta do your own due diligence and research your own neighborhoods to make sure that you feel safe where you're choosing to move to. And we can help you with that. Simply give us a call and we'll go over those areas according to crime statistics and the things that our clients say to us from the areas that they live in. What would you say to someone who doesn't live here in town that thinks that Las Vegas isn't a good place to raise a family?
I'm the type of dad that instead of going out there and partying, I like to be active with my kids, you know, and it's not always about the Strip, you know, it's not always about gambling, you know, there's other things to do as well, you know, like having an adventure. There's trails out here you could go, there's Lake Las Vegas, you know, there's stuff like that to do. So it's not always about just casinos or like, you know, drinking and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do and find out here, you know. You just gotta search, be proactive, and like go out there and try to do something that is way different than stay away from the strip, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I got 3 kids myself, and it's like they don't like going out there. You know, it's always crowded. You know, especially I don't recommend, especially like on holidays and on the weekends. I don't recommend to go out there with kids. You know, just I try to go out myself. You know, there's parks. If it's not this park, we try to go find another park. You know, move around a little bit. But there's a lot of fun things to do.
How do you like the parks here in town?
I like them. Like I like them. Like, you know, they're really clean.
This is a beautiful basketball court. It's in great shape.
It is. You know, I drove like maybe like 15 minutes to just get over here. I mean, there's other parks. You know, it depends on the side of the Vegas you want to be at, but you'll find, if you look, you'll find something that your kids would like too. You know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do your kids do any extracurricular activities besides basketball?
So right now, we're like 2 months. You know, they have them on football. So you know, there's things too. The Nevada NWF, I think that's what it's called. Nevada, you know, I put them in the football lead. Yep. So you know, like we go out there too. I'm the type of, you know, I'm active. You know, I like to be active. You know, outdoor active, and then like, you know, kids active, and then they love being out here, especially with this type of weather.
We actually caught you playing basketball with your family
in February. Everyone, in the middle of February, when it's supposed to be freezing cold, we're having a beautiful day.
It's beautiful out here. You see me sweating. I'm active. I'm an active guy, and you know, let's keep it pushing. Vegas is a great spot to bring kids. You know, there's no, like I said, it's not always about the casinos. If you find something, you're gonna find it. If you search it, you're gonna search it.
Everything you want.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun things out here.
Now let's talk about schools and education. While we know Vegas has had a bad rep in the past for education, things are changing. And according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, Nevada is steadily improving in educational rankings.
Something that we love as parents here in Las Vegas, and what we've heard from other clients of ours and friends and family, is that there's a lot of charter school options here. And if you're not familiar with what that means, a charter school means that the state or the government will fund that school per each child, but they're allowed to follow a similar curriculum while also offering additional training and learning opportunities like music, arts, STEM projects. And we have some of the best STEM schools here. And because those are charter schools, you aren't bound to a geographic school district. You can actually drive 15, 20 minutes or even 30 minutes if your child's accepted to put that kid in a school. And because Clark County is the 5th largest school district in America, that means you have tons of options for charter schools like Doral Academy, Mary Hill Academy, Somerset Academy. There's a bunch of different charter schools. And another thing that we have is magnet schools. Now, a magnet school is based on availability, of course, but if they have openings, your child isn't, again, bound to that geographic area. They can go to a school that's just nearby that might offer some of those STEM or advanced learning categories that you might not get at your local, just regular school that you're stuck to. So I like that you have a lot of options to take your kid to different schools here in Clark County that you might not have in other towns, or a small town that's relegated to just 2 schools. You're kind of stuck with what you get, but being here, you have the option to choose different schools, which is great.
And I just want to touch on a little bit more of what Kyle said. He said the word accepted. Now, here in Las Vegas, we do have what's called a lottery system.
And waiting lists.
And a waiting list. So you can apply for not just one charter school, but actually multiple charter schools. And they will draw a lottery, and you'll be scored excuse me, by a number. And actually, our son was on a lottery for a couple charters.
That had 256 kids ahead of him, but he got accepted to the same school, the same brand, I guess you could call, same charter, but at a different location.
Different location. So, you know, it is possible to apply to multiple charter schools and see which one you get accepted at.
Now, if you're looking to spend a little bit more money on your child's education, that's one thing that we do have here that is top tier. We have private schools or paid for school that are some of the best in the country. We have Bishop Gorman, that's not just known for their academic accolades, they're also known for their sports and their athletics programs. They always seem to produce amazing athletes, and their team's always in the top when they're playing football and other sports, including swimming and baseball and things like that. And I want to highlight some of those schools. I mentioned Bishop Gorman. There's also the Alexander Dawson School. There's the Meadows School. And for reference, we just looked at Meadows recently. It was $22,000 a year for kindergarten through like 5th grade, and there's $24K a year for higher elementary, just so you can gauge those prices on that.
Of course, those prices may change.
Those prices will change in the future, of course, as things inflate, so will their prices. There's also Faith Lutheran, which is that's a religious school, but it's also an excellent athletic school and academic school. There's also the Las Vegas Academy, which is a specifically performing arts school. Now, it may not be where your kid might want to be. It's located in downtown, but it is known as being the top performing arts. So if your kid's into music, into theater, into anything like that, this is probably one of the places that you want to take the time to send them to.
Absolutely. It's one of the best creative schools here in Las Vegas. So if you guys are looking for more information regarding education, schools, and especially in a specific area that you are thinking about relocating, absolutely do not hesitate to reach out to us. We can get you more information on all of that.
Now, before we get to the next talking points, we do have a free relocation guide that you guys can download in the links below. And that's going to kind of just show you different parts of the town. And of course, we have a book an appointment link that if you want to chat with us individually to go over this stuff in finite detail, we're happy to book a call with you and kind of go over what's best for you. Now let's jump back in.
So our next section is parks.
So if you don't know anything about our parks here in town, we have an extreme abundance of parks, over 360 parks in the city of Las Vegas. There's over 56 parks in the city of Henderson, world-class parks. But more importantly, if you want to look a little bit further into some of the best parks in town, we already made you a video for that. So you could check the links below for best parks in town, and you could check out every park that made the list.
It was one of our favorite videos to film, so definitely check it out if that's something that interests you for sure.
While we're here, we do want to mention that Las Vegas does have amazing parks, and they're all very close by. You can almost throw a stone and hit one park from the other. We just came from down the street. There was another park within walking distance to this park that we're at here. There's plenty of parks, world-class parks. You'll never have a lack of abundance of places to take your kids. And one thing that we do as parents is we're constantly going to a new park almost every other week just to check them all out, and we still haven't gotten to all of them because there's so many of them.
And because it gets so hot in the summer, we have a lot of parks that have water stations and little water areas that younger kids can play at. And then speaking of the really big parks, we have 2 giant water parks here in Las Vegas.
We do. We have a Cowabunga Bay and a Cowabunga Canyon. If you need to cool off in the summertime, you can also, these aren't parks, but the casinos have pools that are local friendly that you can also go and enjoy to cool down there if you need to as well. And our last mention, honorable mention for places to cool down, is Lake Mead. It has a beach, so if you're missing that beach and you don't want to drive 4 hours to California, you can always just head to Lake Mead just a few minutes down the road. Up next, I want to talk about some of the attractions that are nearby or just out of state. It was important to us when we moved here to be close to Southern California. We take our kids to Disneyland pretty frequently, and of course, you know there's a ton of amazing amusement parks in Southern California, but also there's other amazing things that you could take your kids that aren't just for fun, but are also educational too, like...
Absolutely, like the Grand Canyon, Mammoth Mountain, and Lake Tahoe.
And we even got Hoover Dam close by. And another thing that's great is you could get all the way to Colorado and Denver in just 12 hours if you're driving. But even if you don't want to drive that far, you can go to Utah, and Utah has the most national parks out of any state in America. So if you're a national park fan, this is a great hub location to make it to Utah to go check out all those things without having to fly there. You can bring your truck, bring all your goodies, ice chests, coolers, camping chairs, and just make it a quick weekend trip. And that's a great convenience about being in Southern Nevada, is it's a fantastic hub location to everything you can ever need between skiing, snowboarding, going to the beach, going to Southern California, going to the lake, going to the river. We have it all right at our fingertips.
We actually have a trailer, and we love going on weekend getaways. So we'll go to Red Rock. We just like packing the trailer and driving a couple hours and just camping for the weekend. So if you love the outdoors, this might be the perfect spot for you. The next section, we're going to talk about activities.
I believe as a parent here that we have been able to take our kids to activities that we couldn't take them if we still lived in California or if we lived in any other state. We've taken our kids multiple times to Jabberwocky's show. We've taken them to the Blue Man Group show. Vic's taken them, and we've gone to a bunch of magic shows, which young kids love to do. Might not be that fun for you as a parent, but the kids absolutely love the magic shows.
I actually really enjoy magic shows, and I love taking our kids there. So I think it's just so fun to be able to have access to all different types of entertainment, you know, hockey, football. Like, you will have really amazing experiences here if you find that
Absolutely.
that's something that you want to do.
And as a musician or a former musician, I find that every major musical act stops through here. So we get to take our kids to go see all the greats that we wanted to. Whereas in California, I find myself having to drive to LA or drive for hours just to go watch a musical act, where now I can drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I can see world-class acts, and not just musical acts, but also most of the Broadway shows come to Las Vegas too. And many of them are held at the Smith Center. So we've seen some fantastic shows at the Smith Center that we take our kids to, and we just feel like Las Vegas is a special place where you can give your kids experiences that they could not ever get almost anywhere else in America, at least not without working to get there and spending time and money to drive there.
And I just have to add too that living in Las Vegas, you get to meet such incredible people. We have friends who are in these shows, and so I just think that's so cool to be able to go watch a show, and you know, our kids will be like, oh my goodness, that's Uncle John or Auntie Mo, you know, and it's their friends and our friends that they've grown up with.
So the last thing on our list today, and it's super important to me, is convenience. Are you wasting your life sitting in traffic? Are you wasting your life driving down to the street to get to where you need to go shopping or get to the mailbox or the post office? Or are you saving that time and getting to spend it with your family and your kids?
So we're all about efficiency in our family. We love convenience. Everything is so convenient where we live. We are close to the airport. We are close to any grocery stores or top-rated schools, and entertainment and fine dining. Not even just fine dining, just regular dining.
Regular dining. It's not just everything that you need, like a hospital, gas station, supermarket, post office, but also you have extreme convenience to some of the best dining in town. Chinatown is known for some of the best cuisine off the strip as well. You could get to that within a few minutes anywhere you are in town. So it's not just being close to the stuff that you need, but it's also being close to amazing dining options, playground options, shopping options. It's pretty special to be close to everything in town.
So we actually have a friend who moved here 3 years ago, and his biggest raving
review
was that everything was so convenient, and especially how quick it was to pick up his kid from school. And so that was only a 10-minute drive. He loved how close it was. He said where he lived previously, it would take him at least 45 minutes to go pick up his son from school. And so just that convenience factor and being able to save that time during the day and allowing it for something else rather than being stuck in traffic makes such a huge difference just for, you know,
convenience.
Your convenience and happiness.
I too enjoy being able to pick up my son from his school. It's an amazing school, it's top rated, and it's just down the street, and I could walk to and from safely with him, and that's something that we couldn't do in other neighborhoods or other towns in America. And so the convenience in this town is one of the easiest places, best places to live in my opinion. If you came from Southern California, you might have all these things within your fingertips, but the traffic to get to them adds so much time with that commute that it's really not that convenient. Whereas here in Las Vegas, we don't have that much traffic. We're on a big road here, and you can tell that there's not that many cars. Realistically, the only places that get extremely heavy congestion are on the 15 freeway and on the strip. And fortunately, the majority of town is not in those locations. Those are the tourist areas. So you as a local, when you move here, aren't gonna deal with that. You're gonna have easy access to everything.
Unless of course you work on this strip, but normally whoever works on this strip really knows how to navigate those times and different ways to access their casino or where they need to go on the Strip. And so I think that's really important to highlight too, because I used to work on the Strip many years ago.
And you might find yourself working on the Strip, but rest assured you don't get stuck in traffic once you've learned the back routes and the areas that the tourists don't really know of. Once you're a local, you kind of get it figured out.
Exactly. And so I just think that's really important to know. If you guys are new to our channel, I'm Vicky.
And I'm Kyle with the Simmons team here in Las Vegas.
And we've helped hundreds of people buy, sell, and relocate here to Las Vegas, and we would be honored to help you too.
That's right. We have a free relocation guide that you can download in the links below that will help you kind of figure out what parts of town that you might want to move to. More importantly, you can also book a private call if you had some specific questions that you wanted answered. We can chat with you exclusively just like that. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.
That's right. We film these videos every single week for you guys. So also, if you have any questions on what you want to see on an upcoming video, leave it in the comment below. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.